nation's best-loved chefs are hitting the road to compete in some traditional country shows.
And I'm hoping to win one of those rosettes.
On the way, they'll meet some of Britain's best local food producers.
Why would you ever eat a cupcake when you have parking?
Before competing head-to-head with each other. And the great British public.
I thought the competition was big enough.
Our chefs are at the mercy of the harshest food critics in the land, the beady-eyed country show judges.
We don't like odd ones.
It's a competition and I'm taking it very seriously.
Hold on to your aprons, it's Country Show Cook-Off. Today, top chefs Aldo, and Silvena buckle up and take to the road for their final leg of their trip from Pembrokeshire to the Yorkshire Dales. They travel from Brough in Cumbria to Muker in Yorkshire.
Which side of the road are you driving on?
I don't know, is it left? Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure.
Well, it's in England.
But I don't know who will decide. You're the driver, I'm the driver.
So far, our contenders have battled each other and amateur cooks for prizes in country shows with varying degrees of success. They're neck and neck with 6 points each. Whoever places highest today, if they place at all, will win the week.
Are you confident for tomorrow?
Well, you know what? I'm going to be myself. I'm going to do exactly what I do.
You're going to be a chef tomorrow then?
Yes, I'm going to be a chef and see what happens. What about you?
I'm going to be a housewife tomorrow.
Our rival chefs travel to Muker, a village of only 60 inhabitants in Upper Swaledale, in the most northerly of the Yorkshire Dales. To many, this is the most beautiful of the Dales, surrounded by high fells and stunning countryside. The name Muker reflects the village's Norse roots and means narrow acre. Each year, this tiny village becomes a mecca for some 2,000 visitors for the annual Muker show. This hugely popular show was founded in 1893 and attracts visitors for its brass bands, sing-alongs, and for the more energetic among us, fell races. Plus, there's crowd-pulling sheepdog trials and home produce competitions.
It's a ritual in some respects. It's something that's gone on for well over 100 years.
It's just a very old-fashioned show, as it should be, and it's got all the baking and the vegetables that things had years and years and years ago.
I love it because of where it is, really. And the people are lovely.
Our professional chefs have entered the, wait for it, 2 items of food from a Dale's kitchen displayed on a breadboard category. Our chefs will have to be inventive to interpret Yorkshireness and could lead to a sticky end. They'll have their work cut out beating local cooks like Leslie Calvert.
It's a challenge to try and beat some of the other bakers, and it's good fun.
But the person to knock out is Judge Val Punchard, and she'll be looking for a good, clean fight. Val knows what makes a hit.
It could be anything, absolutely anything. When you read the class entry, you know, it gives the whole scope of whatever you want, really, as long as it's on a breadboard.
So what our chefs make is up to them, but they'll need to be showstoppers to win them the week. Food author, newspaper columnist and restaurateur Silvena was born in Bulgaria, but loves her adopted home, Britain.
I'm British, you're Italian, remember?
You're British.
Yes, of course, I'm very British. It doesn't matter, it's exotic British.
Aldo is a chef with many talents. He's held the record for pancake tossing. When he's not flipping a crepe 117 times a minute, he likes to bring a bit of Italian passion to his cooking.
O Sole Mio is going to sing tomorrow morning.
O Sole Mio. Didn't have to wait for that one. Our chefs park up for the last time this week on the banks of the beautiful River Swale in the Yorkshire countryside. This wild river runs for 72 miles and is popular with anglers fishing for barbel, a sort of bearded freshwater carp. But our couple don't have fish on their minds. It's a bit of R&R they're after.
I'm all right, Jack. Table?
Hang on a second.
It's struggling.
There you go.
No, it's not done properly.
There's your coffee table.
It's not done properly.
Oh, come on, you two. No sitting around enjoying the view. You've got to come up with a plan to break the scores deadlock and win the week.
Listen, it's our last competition. We need to win. Whether you or me win, we need to win. We can't let the locals win.
We've got to take the flag home.
See, she's the one that wins everything. Calvert. Remember that name. She is the one that wins
Every year.
Our category is 2 items of food from a Dale's kitchen displayed on a breadboard.
Displayed on a breadboard.
Cheeseboard, breadboard.
I don't have a breadboard.
And what is your dish called?
I'm not telling you nothing. I'm going to do something that the housewives and everybody at home will say, I can do that, no problem.
Okay, I made an extra effort. I've gone the extra length for it. Wait and see until you see how princely this cake is going to be. Oh, did I say cake? Sorry.
Both our chefs want to wow the judges by cooking up what they think is typically Dale's fare. And to get some tips, they head into the village where tomorrow's country show will take place. The picture-perfect village of Muker in Swaledale is a hidden treasure that nestles in the northern Yorkshire Dales. It's home to a church, a woolen shop, village pub, and not much more. But then who needs more? What this village lacks in size, it gains in character.
Don't start.
Leader of the pack.
Go, Granny, go! Our duo are here to elbow their way into Dale's life and get an edge over the competition. So they go to meet Muker locals Alison Stringer and Nick Turner, who are at the hub of the village community.
This is so beautiful. It looks like a picture postcard.
And you run your own business here, tea shop?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Tea shop, shop, B&B.
All these things you're running.
Yeah, we're doing all these little bits.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got lots of bedrooms?
No, just the one room.
One bedroom? How cool is that? That's what I'm saying
Are
tonight.
you always fully booked?
Oh yeah, I know, Aldo. Like the B&B, the shop is small and sells locally sourced produce, but it's the tea room kitchen where our chefs head to get tips on Yorkshire fare. Alison's going to cook her renowned whiskey and Glendale ginger wine cake.
Glendale ginger is a local ginger wine, non-alcoholic.
This is it?
Yep.
We got plenty of alcoholic whiskey, so...
Yeah. But I actually made...
Smells nice. I love ginger anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that smells very nice.
I always think Yorkshire food is about fruit and beer and alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know. That's good to know because tomorrow for the competition I'm doing a cake and I'm going to alcoholize it.
Yeah. So we start with the butter. It's just a creamed cake recipe, really.
You need some muscle?
I think I do need some muscle because I've not melted it very
No, Aldo, come on, you've dressed properly. So I'll just dress for the occasion. Look, he's enjoying this.
Normally I use a big food processor and do everything in.
And why didn't you this morning then?
Because we have a big Italian now.
I've got raisin sultanas and small Vostina currants. It's been soaked in the Glendale ginger. Just gives them a lovely, much fatter and softer texture.
What do you want to have?
Right, you need to have some sugar in there then. Some nice soft brown.
Go on,
Yeah.
carry on now.
Get you to do all the work.
It's getting slightly harder for Aldo there. Can I put this on Aldo's bowl?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say I'm not doing any work. Okay, Aldo. Oh, God, this was hard work.
And the plain flour. This is ground almonds. Yeah, to moisten the cake, I think. Just ground almonds.
Yeah, they're quite wet, yeah.
Sorry, keep going. So I tend to put 1 egg in and a little bit of flour and 4 eggs in total.
4 eggs in total.
2.
Put some flour in there, come on.
So the loaf I'm doing tomorrow, if I use tea, what is the best tea to use for flavour?
Earl Grey is often used.
Okay, this is a local advice, a local tip.
Or a strong tea.
And is it popular here?
Yeah, I use a tea loaf with and people spread butter on it.
Yeah.
Let's finish this cake.
Please don't be like that. You do work in the kitchen. What is the matter with you?
Well, I didn't plan to work in the kitchen, to be honest. I'll give it back to you now.
There we go.
How much whiskey did you put in there then?
I think there's about 50 mils.
50
but
mils.
then what I do is feed the cake afterwards.
Yes.
So for a few weeks with whiskey. Yeah.
I do like a bit of whiskey.
Add finely chopped fresh ginger and then dried mixed spices to the bowl. Alison's cake bakes in the oven for around 90 minutes at 150 degrees.
And then we end up with, these are smaller ones I made earlier. That's my little dibber. It's a very important device, is the dibber.
Are you feeding with whiskey?
We feed with the whiskey. You do it that way 1 week and then turn it round the next week and do it on the bottom. It's just how much you think it can take, really. You can eat it straight away. I mean, it's a nice moist cake, but fruit cake is always best left for, well, I would say a good month, really.
Do you think people in this country still do this?
I do, yeah. I think there's a big tradition, especially in Muker, for the show tomorrow. everybody has been baking. They've all been coming in buying the ingredients from the shops.
No pressure there.
No pressure there. I'm doing something special. Right now, I worry about the texture. I want your texture. This is nice and moist, and I've seen what you do today, and I'm going to apply tomorrow.
So those will be put away, and then this is what happens later.
Can I?
Help yourself.
This is amazing. I love the spice.
Very nice with the ginger. Well done. I could eat that all day.
No, you can't eat cake all day. Alison's given our duo plenty of food for thought. The scores are 6-all, and it's your last chance to go into the baking battle and win the week. So, you better get cracking. First up to go all Yorkshire is Silvena with her Yorkshire tea loaf and rhubarb and vanilla jam, and she starts by preparing her fruits.
This recipe is deadly simple, and I will admit I've never done it before, but should be fairly easy. Using 2 tea bags of really strong tea. I'm going to put a bit of water, that should be enough. A little bit of rose water, not too much because it can be very, very strong, so not too much. About the equivalent of 1 teaspoon is enough. Then I will also put a glug of brandy because I like the taste of it. A bit of honey, not too much. Again, the equivalent of 1 teaspoon of honey. Delicious. And the fruit can go in now as well. What we're going to do with that fruit now is allow it to soak overnight. The more you soak it, the better. The fruit will become delicious and plump and moist.
Ooh, just like my mum. Like all good cooks, she soaked some fruits the day before.
And the fruit should be very tasty. So what I'm going to do is just drain it. This is really deliciously plump. So I'm going to put this aside and going to get on with my dry mixture. Like I said, this is extremely simple. Flour, and we have some spices. We have nutmeg, we have cinnamon and baking powder. What I'm going to add now, which is a little bit alternative, is 2 teaspoons of delicious medium cut orange marmalade. The brown sugar goes in here as well. Some butter, melted butter, and 1 egg. We give it a good mix together. You know what? I'm going to put my hands because I want to fill this dough with my hands. And that is the best way to know is it working well. So what we'll do now is actually add our fruit to it. It's quite a lot of fruit, but every amazing cake does have a lot of fruit. I think we're ready to go. I have put a couple of lemons in here because it's very windy. I'm going to remove them now, hoping that the paper will not fly out, which the paper will fly out. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom. Oh my God! Okay, I have to work very quickly now, while the wind is a little bit subsided. Okay, perfect. Hey, Aldo.
Hey, baby.
How are we doing here? Oh, it smells delicious. So this will go now. Okay, Aldo, excuse me.
Oh my goodness me.
Oh, that's a bit of a squeeze. The cake goes in the oven for around 1 hour at 180 degrees.
How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Out of the kitchen, Silvena, and give Aldo a chance to get started on his Rascals and Yorkshire curd tart. First up, the Rascals. These tea cakes date back to Elizabethan times. They're similar to scones, but in Yorkshire, they're considered biscuits. Or is it scones?
Okay, so what have I got in here? I've got plain flour, eggs, baking powder, I've got some fruit peel, I've got butter, mixed spice, and then you add your egg and milk in, and this really should form a dough, and then you shape your Rascals. Then we bake them with some cherries, and then we should be all right tomorrow. Hopefully they stay nice and moist for me. There's my Rascals. It smells well, I wonder.
Bella. Aldo rolls his dough about 2 centimetres thick and cuts his Rascals with a pastry cutter.
Let's do one with the plain side. All right, what should we do, plain or not?
The curly side, I like the curly side.
You like my curlies?
Yes, because you know they're going to be quite disfigured by the time you finish with them, so...
Yeah.
The curly side is going to look quite rustic, like, oh, look what I've done deliberately, you know?
And now, little brush with milk and egg yolk. And decorate.
Oh, now this is going to be fun. Let's see you doing that. I'm just quietly watching. Please don't give me kind of thunder looks, you know?
Not too much, Aldo. Don't go over the top again, Aldo. You like that? Like that? Or shall I do?
It's
do you want to decorate
Italian.
ones?
I'd noticed